Hi, everyone. This is Marta. You can find me as Marta Schmarta on Instagram, Ravelry, and Blue Sky.
And I'm Freddie Betty. I can be found on Ravelry and Blue Sky as Freddie Betty, on Instagram as Freddie Betty01, and on Facebook as Betty Crowell.
Here we are, Betty, almost done with Patty Lyon's Knitting Bag of Tricks, the official workbook, and the original Knitting Bag of Tricks book. Lesson in Chapter 7 are happy endings. Patty covers project endings and finishing in this lesson.
3 new swatches were made in this lesson. We took a deep dive into finishing some of the more challenging aspects of sweaters, which are ribbed edges on corners and installing a set-in sleeve. I loved learning about the tailor's ham and saw there were free online sewing patterns for them. If you do consider making one of your own tailor hams, be sure not to use synthetic filler for the stuffing. Tailor hams are also used for pressing, and synthetic stuffing may melt and collapse upon pressure. Sawdust is the traditional tailor ham filling. I digress. I especially love learning about how to make adjustments if your lengths and stitch counts do not match up. And I learned this in Patty's video about setting in a sleeve. One of the most useful techniques in seaming is learning how to sew in a good mattress stitch. Though it's thick, it's amazing how invisible it is and how much structure it adds to a garment. What did you think, Marta?
Well, Betty, I'm just going to say up front, I am so glad you included all that information about a tailor's ham. I am not a sewist and don't care to be, and so that was great information. I'm still probably just going to use my steamer and make do.
Which is fine.
But for those times when you really want a finished product, it makes a big difference. I'm going to have to think about learning some new sewing techniques. Can I ask you about those things when I get to that?
Sure. I'm not a sewist, and these patterns look very easy.
That's excellent. Well, I know I'll find lots of help on the Unraveling group if I need it. Anyway, to get back to mattress stitch, I had a finishing class eons ago where I learned mattress stitch for the first time. It was life-changing. That said, there's a reason why I prefer seamless sweaters, as in I don't sew, and designed the Quidditch sweater seamless with set-in sleeves. It's my personal preference, but I like to be pretty much done with a sweater once the knitting is done. Some will, with good reason, mention how sleeves add structure. I'm also a fan of the phony baloney seam Meg Swanson and Elizabeth Zimmerman used in their seamless designs. I think I've had a good refresher for mattress stitch. Still love it when it's necessary, but I'm back on seamless sweaters.
Yeah, you got to do what you love.
That's it. That makes it worthwhile then. Also, for those who might see my swatches 7 and 8, I did an extra side for mattress stitch because Patty sewed through the middle of the stitch in the copy of the book and workbook I had. I had learned to sew between stitches when I took that finishing class. I didn't notice any difference, but you can let me know in comments or replies if you see a difference, listeners. Once I was aware of the errata, however, I saw the illustration show the method I was taught. In the end, I didn't notice any difference in appearance. We have links to all the errata for the book and the workbook on all of the documents you'll see wherever you get information for the Unraveling Bag of Tricks, Cal.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. This lesson looked like it was short, but I spent a lot of time on the swatches. And this reminded me that taking a little more time on the details is important for the overall look once a project is done.
It does. I especially like the section on weaving in ends and how to weave in ends on garter versus stockinette. I'll post a photo of a sweater I haven't worn because I wasn't thinking in woven ends more appropriate to garter stitch, and the sweater was stockinette. You can see a horizontal line right in the middle. I think I'll take the time to pick those out, reweave the ends in, and give it a thorough soak and block to see if it improves.
Ah, that would have been so disappointing to spend all that time and effort on a sweater and then not want to wear it because of a small finishing detail gone wrong. I'm looking forward to seeing the before and after photos, Marta.
Well, Betty, we have just one more lesson left, and it's not really a lesson. We'll do another chat about what we've learned and where it will take us on future projects when we get together next time.
I'm excited to regroup and talk about how we incorporate our new knowledge from Patty Lyon's Knitting Bag of Tricks workbook and book into our future projects. Until then, bye, Marta.
Take care, Betty. Bye bye.